Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu
Jagate Gopika Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapat Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishnu Sute Devi Parmani Hari Priye
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya
Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Iti Nam
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani
Nirvishesha Sunyavadi
Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhakta Varda
Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Rama Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam from Canto 3, Chapter 5, Text 47. The demigods are glorifying the lotus feet of the Lord. Tatha parichatma samadhi yoga balena jitva prakritim balestam tvam eva
Adhita Prasham Vishanti
Tesham shramasyanatu sevayate. Others who are pacified by means of transcendental self-realization have conquered over the modes of nature by dint of strong power and knowledge also enter into you. But for them, there is much pain, whereas the devotee simply discharges devotional service and thus feels no pain. In terms of labor of love and its returns, the bhaktas or devotees of the Lord always have priority over persons who are addicted to the association of jnanis or impersonalists and yogis or mystics. The word apare others is very significant in this connection. Others refers to the jnanis and yogis whose only hope is to merge into the existence of the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Although their destination is not so important in comparison to the destination of the devotees, the labor of the non-devotees is far greater than that of the bhaktas. One may suggest that there is sufficient labor for the devotees also in the matter of discharging devotional service. But that labor is compensated by the enhancement of transcendental pleasure. The devotees derive more transcendental pleasure while engaged continuously in the service of the Lord than when they have no such engagement. In the family combination of a man and a woman, there is much labor and responsibility for both of them. Yet, when they are single, they feel more trouble for want of their united activities. So the labor of love. Bhakti is to revive our loving relationship with Krishna. And the more we engage in devotional service for the pleasure of Krishna, the pleasure that Krishna feels, he lets the devotees feel that pleasure. He feels us, he allows us also, he enables us to experience the bliss that he's experiencing. And so that's the reason the devotees are very happy hearing chanting, honoring prasadam, kirtan, book distribution, is because Krishna is being happy, so they are happy. It's that's the reason it's called labor of love. Like a mother, when a child is born, a small child, she does everything for the child. She doesn't care, oh, it's so troublesome, but she loves the child so much. It's based on love. But so the devotees also, their relationship with Krishna, bhakti, is to revive this love. The pure devotees are already on that platform of love. But the comparison is made with the impersonalists and the yogis, the jnanis and the yogis, who have to do everything for by their own endeavor. It's not easy. It's not easy to go on the path of jnana or meditation. It's very difficult. And what happens, there's no pleasure. There's no that bliss which is received while engaging in devotional service. So they're doing much more hard work, and their final destination is much lower than what the devotees will receive. The devotees, after giving up the body, they enter into one of the Vaikuntha planets where they are associating eternally with the Lord. Whereas the goal of the jnanis is to merge into the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, and from there they will come down after a long period of time. So the union of the impersonalist and the union of the devotees are not on a par. The impersonalists try to fully stop their individuality by attaining Sayujya Mukti, or unification by merging into oneness. Whereas the devotees keep their individuality to exchange feelings in relationship with the Supreme Individual Lord. So what is the goal of the jnanis, the impersonalists, is that they don't want to be a person anymore. They feel so frustrated in this material world. They say, oh, the whole, because we are existing, so that's why there's so much suffering. So let us stop existing. Let us just merge into the divine light and stop existing there. But what does a devotee do? The devotee understands that I can never ever stop existing, that we are always eternally individuals. We will continue to remain individuals. We'll continue to exist. And so what does the devotee want to do? He wants to be situated in his original position, in his true position, in one of the planets in the spiritual world, where he can have a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. Such reciprocation of feelings takes place in the transcendental Vaikuntha planets, and therefore the liberation sought by the impersonalist is already achieved in devotional service. The devotees attain mukti automatically while continuing the transcendental pleasure of maintaining individuality. So because everybody we all want to get liberation. Oh, I want to get liberated. I want to get liberated. Liberated from what? From this material world. Only we do not understand what is true liberation. True liberation means we give up our attachment to this material world and we get situated in our true original position, in our transcendental loving relationship with Krishna. As explained in the previous verse, the destination of the devotees is Vaikuntha, or Akuntha Dishnya, the place where anxieties are completely eradicated. One should not mistake the destination of the devotees and that of the impersonalist to be one and the same. The distinctions are distinctly different, and the transcendental pleasure derived by the devotee is also distinct from the chinmatra, or spiritual feelings alone. So it's like Prabhupada would say, if you're going to buy a ticket to go to America, you sit in the plane which is going to America, you will reach America. It's not that everybody who's sitting on the airport is going to go to the same America. Depends which ticket they have purchased. Somebody got a ticket for Australia, so they'll reach Australia. Somebody got a ticket to go to France, so they'll reach France. Similarly, the devotees and the impersonalists, the yogis, their destination is not the same. The devotee's destination is Vaikuntha, where there is no anxiety, no misery, no birth, no death. That's the highest, and where we can experience the highest pleasure, the highest bliss, because there is no misery. So you're always feeling happy, always happy. Okay. Is that okay?
Yes.
So text 48. Tatte vayam loka shrikshayadya tvan svayanushatastribhir atma bhisma sarve vayukta svavihara tantram na shan shaknumas tat pratiharta vete. O original person, we are therefore but yours only. Although we are your creatures, we are born one after another under the influence of the three modes of nature. And for this reason, we are separated in action. Therefore, after the creation, we could not act concertedly for your transcendental pleasure. The cosmic creation is working under the influence of the three modes of the external potency of the Lord. So the three modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, that's how we are bound to this material world. And each of our action comes under one of these modes, or a mixture of the modes. Different creatures are also under the same influence, and therefore they cannot act concertedly in satisfying the Lord. Because of this diverse activity, there cannot be any harmony in the material world. The best policy, therefore, is to act for the sake of the Lord. That will bring about the desired harmony. So right now, the state of affairs in the material world is that each of us have our own private agenda. We each want to become happy, and we don't care how we attain that happiness. Many times we exploit others, we exploit the resources of the material world. At the cost of others, we want to be happy. We might not even realize what we are doing. We say, no, I am not doing happiness at the cost of others. But if we analyze, there are so many living entities everywhere. And then, so we have that I want to be happy for myself, everything for me. And so that's the reason Bhagavatam says, Srila Prabhupada says that each living entity in this material world is potentially envious of another. Now, because of this envy, so it's like when in a pond of water, if we keep throwing stones at different places, the ripples that are created, they will keep clashing with each other. Similarly, in this material world, because each of us have our own false ego, and then due to envy and pride and all the other anger, what happens is there's always a clash of interest. And because of that, there is no peace, there is no harmony. There might be a temporary peace for some time, but again, we will see that there is agitation. And that's the reason we are recommended to take the devotional path, the bhakti path. Why? Because the bhakti path is everything for the pleasure of the Lord. So if everyone is united with one intention, what's going to please the Lord, automatically there will be peace and harmony. Like in the same pond of water, we keep throwing the stone at the same place, So there will be many ripples, but those ripples will be in concentric circles. And they won't clash with each other. No matter how many stones you put, then the ripples just get bigger and bigger, but none of them will clash. So if we act for the pleasure of the Lord, we can attain peace, and with peace, we will be happy. Is that okay?
Yeah.
The whole point of conditioned life is that we don't want to act for the pleasure of the Lord. We say, why shall we work for His pleasure? I want to be happy by myself. I want to enjoy by myself. And that is conditioned life. We are not ready to accept that we are made for His pleasure. We don't want to accept that. Why should I be made for somebody else's pleasure? I can enjoy myself. And that's the reason, since time immemorial, we are trying to enjoy in different bodies, in different planets in the material world, in different situations. But all our attempts ultimately lead to frustration because we are not ready to accept our true position. That we can be happy only in connection with Krishna, that we are eternal servants of Krishna. And when we are connected to Krishna in that relationship, we automatically will feel the happiness and the bliss because it's a relationship of love. Where true love, where there's lover and beloved, both of them are happy. But if one tries to exploit another, then there will be unrest, there will be the relationship won't be smooth, and there will be, a lot of tension in the relationship. So we just have to try to be reinstated in our own original position, which we can easily achieve by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and continue to hear from Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita.
I just want to share one incident. If you remember, few weeks back on one of the Saturdays, I put a question that if we say every time bring Krishna, then people might get ke bas isko to yahi aata hai. And yesterday, one of the females came to me and she accepted this. कि जब भी ऐसा होता था और आप बोलते थे कृष्णा कुछ सालों तक कि हर चीज में इट्स कृष्णाज मर्सी कृष्णा, तो मुझे ऐसे लगता था कि इसको और कुछ आता ही नहीं है क्या, सिर्फ कृष्णा कृष्णा करते रहती है ये, उसके अलावा बोले हर चीज थोड़ा ना कृष्णा से होती है. एंड देन now when she herself got into it, she realized that yes, there is nothing except Krishna, and she very proudly accepted कि मैंने ऐसा सोचा था आपके बारे में, but अब मैं ऐसा सोचती हूँ कि yes, she was so right कि उस कृष्णा के अलावा कोई है ही नहीं और. So because that made a difference. Maybe I was giving a negative impact to somebody, but and then I told her the same thing as you said कि कोई बात नहीं, वो at least कृष्णा का नाम तो ले रही है.
Yeah.
So I told her कि you got that sukriti because तुमने कहा कि हर चीज में कृष्णा ही होते हैं क्या, बस कृष्णा ही होते हैं क्या, तो तुमने नाम तो लिया. And Krishna started doing his work. And then I felt that yes, what I am doing through you is I'm on the right path.
Jen, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you very much for this.
Just keep giving Krishna to everyone. That's what Lord Chaitanya's mission is, Lord Chaitanya's instruction to each of us is just give Krishna to everyone so that everyone can be situated. We are all misguided in this material world. We all need to understand what's our position. So thank you for sharing. Let's continue reading. Text 49. Yavad balim tejaharam kale yatha vayam chanam adamayatra yatho bayesham te ime hiloka balim haranto anam adanti anuhaha. O unborn one, please enlighten us regarding the ways and means by which we can offer you all enjoyable grains and commodities, so that both we and all other living entities in this world can maintain ourselves without disturbance and can easily accumulate the necessities of life for life, both for you and for ourselves. So this is when the demigods were created, but they didn't know what to do, how to do what they're supposed to do. So developed consciousness begins from the human form of life and further increases in the forms of the demigods living in higher planets. The earth is situated almost in the middle of the universe, and the human form of life is the intermediate stage between the life of the demigods and that of the demons. The planetary systems above the earth are especially meant for the higher intellectuals called demigods. They are called demigods because although their standard of life is far more advanced in culture, enjoyment, luxury, beauty, education, and duration of life, they are always fully God conscious. So we, the earth planets, the earthly planetary system is in the middle. Lower is where the demons stay, and higher is where the demigods stay. And in the higher planets, the heavenly planets, the Swarglok, Tapalok, Janalok, those planetary systems, the standard of living is very high. And for example, in the earth itself, we can see because of the different situations that many human beings are formed, we can see that the standard of living for each is so different, of different classes, different, maybe born in different countries, born in different families. So that standard of living is different. Similarly, the standard of living on this earth is different. And when we go higher in the higher planetary systems, the standard of living is higher. More enjoyment, more luxury, more education, more beauty. But they're all devotees of the Lord. They're all devotees. Such demigods are always ready to render service to the Supreme Lord because they are perfectly aware of the fact that every living entity is constitutionally an eternal subordinate servitor of the Lord. So this is that they can understand that Jivera Swarupaya Krishna Nitya Das, that okay, I want to enjoy, I want to have luxuries, all that. Yes, but I know that I am a servant of Krishna, that I am not God, but I am a servant of God. They also know that it is the Lord only who can maintain all living entities with all the necessities of life. The Vedic hymns, Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman, Ta Enam Abruvan Ayatanam Na Prajanihi Yasmin Pratishta Anam Adame, etc., confirm this truth. In Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord is mentioned as Bhuta Brit, or the maintainer of all living creatures. So who is the one who's maintaining us? Who's the one? Are we maintaining ourselves? Are we creating the grains by ourselves? Are we creating the soil and the rains by ourselves? Are we creating this atmosphere that we can have the air by ourselves? No, it's Krishna who's maintaining us. And the demigods understand this properly, that Krishna is the one who's maintaining us. This is mentioned in the Katha Upanishad, Eko Bahunam Yovedadati Kaman, that there's one eternal and he's maintaining all the other eternals in this material world as well as in the spiritual world. Not that after we become liberated, then we can maintain ourselves. No, even if we enter one of the spiritual planets, the Vaikuntha planets, Krishna continues to maintain us in there. So, reading on, the modern theory that starvation is due to an increase in population is not accepted by the demigods or the devotees of the Lord. The devotees or demigods are fully aware that the Lord can maintain any number of living entities, provided they're conscious of how to eat. If they want to eat like ordinary animals, who have no God consciousness, then they must live in starvation, poverty, and want, like the jungle animals in the forest. So, all the Vedas, they all describe that Krishna is capable to provide and maintain for everyone. He's maintaining a tiny ant whose daily food intake is barely anything. And he's also maintaining the huge elephants whose capacity to eat is like they'll eat tons of food. But what happens is we, the living entities, because of our own greed, our misconceptions, we spoil this balance. And then we bring this problem onto our own self of inequality in food distribution. Because if we want to behave like animals, then Mother Nature says, okay, then you behave like animals. Then I will make you be in that circumstance. The jungle animals are also maintained by the Lord with their respective foodstuffs, but they are not advanced in God consciousness. Similarly, human beings are provided with food grains, vegetables, fruits, and milk by the grace of the Lord. But it is the duty of human beings to acknowledge the mercy of the Lord. As a matter of gratitude, they should feel obliged to the Lord for their supply of foodstuff, and they must first offer him food in sacrifice and then partake of the remnants. So, gratitude, we should have this gratitude, because if we honestly look, if we become honest, then we will become humble. Oh yes, actually I am not able to produce anything. Somebody is providing me with everything. And then when with honesty and humility, then, oh, who's the one who's providing? Oh, Krishna is providing everything. Then we should feel grateful to Krishna. Because if Krishna is not providing me, I wouldn't be able to survive. I wouldn't be able to eat anything. So I should be grateful to Krishna. And then how can we express this gratitude? Oh, let me offer this foodstuff which Krishna has so kindly given to me. Let me offer it first to Krishna and then accept it, to express my gratitude. In Bhagavad Gita 3.13, it is confirmed that one who takes foodstuff after a performance of sacrifice eats real food for proper maintenance of the body and soul. But one who cooks for himself and does not perform any sacrifice eats only lumps of sin in the shape of foodstuffs. Such sinful eating can never make one happy or free from scarcity. So Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, that when you're eating food, first you offer it to me. Then there is no sin in that. But if you're just cooking for yourself and eating it, then it's sin involved. Why? Because everything is actually provided by Krishna. So we are disregarding his presence, his benevolence. Famine is not due to an increase in population, as less intelligent economists think. When human society is grateful to the Lord for all his gifts for the maintenance of the living entities, then there is certainly no scarcity or want in society. But when men are unaware of the intrinsic value of such gifts from the Lord, surely they are in want. A person who has no God consciousness may live in opulence for the time being due to his past virtuous acts. But if one forgets his relationship with the Lord, certainly he must await the stage of starvation by the law of the powerful material nature. One cannot escape the vigilance of the powerful material nature unless he leads a God-conscious or devotional life. So we are taught to be grateful. Even when we do things for each other, then we should appreciate each other, feel gratitude. Then what to speak about the Supreme Lord, who's giving us, without food, without air, without water, we won't be able to survive even a moment without air. So we should express our gratitude to him. And by doing so, by acknowledging him, we are being situated in our true position. Otherwise, material nature, she will say, oh, you want to behave like animals, then you do not need the body of a human being. Then you need the body of an animal. So then it's better you, in the next life, I'll give you the body of an animal. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so we can stop here for today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And Neha, you could encourage your friend, maybe give her some books or talk to her sometime, you know, if she's willing to listen, or
Yeah, I
invite her
told
sometime.
Yeah, I told her. But she is in meditation and everything right now, so she's not.
Okay.
So I thought that maybe whenever it's time, I can give her some prasadam and some books, and it might work because she likes to read. So I thought that I'll do that.
Wonderful.
So
Very good.
it's a good thing.
Yeah, very good.
But I was also really, really very happy that at least she came up and she accepted it, because it's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
It's not very easy to go and tell somebody कि मैं आपके बारे में ऐसा सोचती थी.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
true.
nice. Really.
Yeah.
Really.
It's true. Most of
Yes.
us just keep quiet. You know?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
we
we
just
keep quiet
We
because
don't
we
want
don't
to
know.
express, we don't want to
Yeah.
tell.
The
And her
person is ready to
genuinity,
accept. Yeah.
and she's saying that I'm feeling the change. I said, then you have got the mercy of Krishna.
Oh, so good.
Very nice.
Very good. Okay. Thank you so much. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
thank you to you. Yeah.